under pressure to kickstart Broncos' stalled offense. Englewood, Colorado, Trevor Siemian is battered and has the bruises on his face to show it. The Denver Broncos quarterback, lauded after surprisingly impressive stats in the Broncos' first two contests, has been saddled with the brunt of the blame during the Broncos' two-game losing streak, during which the offense he leads has scored just 10 points. He has been sacked 9 times in those 2 games. On one of the hits from Melvin Ingram last weekend in a 21-0 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers, Siemian was driven face-first into the grass so hard that the impact smashed his face mask into his nose. "I probably should have broken it," Siemian said this week. "I deserve to say the way I played." Siemian laughed at his self-deprecating joke, but there's a bit of truth there. He hasn't played well, and he knows it. More, USA Today's Sports Week 8 NFL picks more. Texans' Deshaun Watson proving doubters wrong with smooth NFL transition during the Broncos' 1-3 stretch dating back to a loss at the Buffalo Bills on September 24. Siemian has thrown 5 interceptions, including one that returned for a score against the New York Giants, and just 2 touchdowns. His passing attempts per game are up from 30 to 39, and his quarterback rating is down to 82.5 on the season, ranking 24th among starting passers. "Guys are frankly embarrassed with what we put out there last Sunday," Siemian said. "We have to play better. I have to play better." Broncos coach Vance Joseph insisted multiple times this week that he is not considering a quarterback change, either to back up Brock Osweiler, who re-signed with Denver in September after being released by the Cleveland Browns, or Paxton Lynch, the 2016 first-round pick whom Siemian beat out in training camp. Lynch was cleared to return to practice this week after suffering a right shoulder injury in late August. Joseph has said the problems plaguing the Broncos right now aren't simply Siemian's fault. A faltering running game, poor offensive line play, injuries at receiver and right tackle, and dreadful special teams are among the other issues facing the Broncos as they enter a brutal 3-game stretch against 3 division leaders, starting with Monday night's game at the 5-2 Kansas City Chiefs. A road trip to face the NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles is next, followed by a home game against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. "This game is absolutely urgent," Joseph said. "It should be urgent. It's a must-win." Upsetting the Chiefs might depend, at least in part, on rediscovering the run game. The Broncos were the league's best rushing offense in the first 2 weeks of the season, but haven't exceeded 69 total yards on the ground in either of the past 2 games. In the Broncos' 3 losses, starter C.J. Anderson has received just 8, 9 and 10 carries. Joseph said a reason for the decline is a change in defense's approaches, with far more stacked boxes recently as teams are showing less regard for Siemian in the passing game. "They're making us block heavy fronts, and they're forcing our pass game to be effective," Joseph said. The offensive line has heard that challenge. While the Broncos have had issues throughout the season in pass protection, the 22 sacks on Siemian are tied for 3rd most on any quarterback. There were games earlier this year in which the line was dominant as run blockers. Rookie left tackle Garrett Ball said the group is focusing on returning to what worked before. "We've got to trust in each other and believe in each other and go back to fundamentals. Playing nasty, knocking dudes on the ground, moving the 3-tech defensive tackle and moving off our double teams, and getting guys off the ball," Balls told USA Today Sports. Meanwhile, Joseph said offensive coaches are working with Siemian to limit turnovers and other drive-killing plays. An improved run game and pass protection would help, but plenty of that responsibility lies with Siemian, who reclaimed the starting job back in August in large part because of his decision-making ability. He has to work on his feeling the pocket, where to slide, where to push, and when to get down, at times knowing when the play's over and throwing the football away, Joseph said. That's part of his growth process. For now, the locker room hasn't turned on Siemian, veteran safety Darian Stewart told USA Today Sports. There are too many others who share blame for the Broncos' recent slide, he said. The defense, while ranked first in yards allowed, has only 4 interceptions. "We're behind Trevor. We know he hasn't played his best, but none of us have played our best game as a team," Stewart said. "This week here is the best time to do it." Follow Lindsay H. Jones on Twitter @BillandSagens. Photos, NFL Week 8 Power Rankings.